In October of 2017, a woman walked through an airport in Sofia, Bulgaria. She carried a small bag and boarded a low-cost Ryanair flight to Athens. No private jet, no security convoy, no dramatic escape. Just another passenger moving through the terminal. At the time, most people around her had no idea who she was. They were standing next to a most wanted financial fugitive in the world. Within days, US prosecutors would issue a warrant for her arrest. Investigators across Europe were already closing in on her. Billions of dollars had vanished, and millions of investors were involved. Authorities later described it as a large financial fraud in history. But by then, she was already gone. Her name was Ruja Ignatova. Depending on who you ask, she was a criminal mastermind or more. What makes this story unsettling isn't just about the money. It's how normal everything looked while it was happening. OneCoin didn't feel like a scam to those inside it. It felt like opportunity. It felt modern, smart, exclusive, and like redemption to some people. That's probably why many intelligent people ignored warning signs. To understand this, go back to when crypto getting rich obsession started. By 2014, Bitcoin had created its first generation of legends. Stories of early adopters turning thousands into millions spread everywhere. News channels talked about teenage crypto millionaires and success stories. Ordinary people watched from the sidelines with the thought, I missed it. That emotion mattered more than the technology itself. Most people didn't understand blockchain or study decentralized finance. They just knew others were getting wealthy incredibly fast. That created the perfect environment for Ruja Ignatova. Because Ruja didn't present herself like a tech founder. She looked more like a diplomat or a corporate executive. She had an academic background. She spoke confidently. She wore expensive tailored dresses and walked onto stages. Interviews described her as brilliant. Supporters called her the Cryptoqueen. More importantly, she understood something that many real crypto companies failed to understand. Most people don't buy technology. They buy certainty. Bitcoin felt confusing, chaotic, technical. Ruja offered the opposite. She told audiences something. They didn't need to understand mining, code, or blockchain architecture. They just needed to recognize a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. That message spread unbelievably fast, especially among certain people. Immigrant communities, retirees, small business owners, religious groups, families hearing about crypto for the first time through trusted people. And trust became the entire engine of this thing. Officially, OneCoin claimed to be a revolutionary cryptocurrency. In reality, investigators later discovered something astonishing. There was no real blockchain behind OneCoin. No decentralized system. No public ledger. No independently verifiable technology. Former insiders would later testify about the operation's function. But by the time most investors learned that, the momentum was too strong. Because OneCoin wasn't spreading like a normal company. It spread like belief. People weren't simply buying a coin, they were joining a movement. The organization hosted massive international events with many features. One of the most famous took place at Wembley Arena in London. Thousands of people filled the venue. Music blasted through the speakers while attendees filmed the stage on their phones. They were convinced they were witnessing the future of global finance unfold. And then Ruja walked out in a gown under the lights like a celebrity. For many people in that audience, this was proof. Scams weren't supposed to look this polished. Fraudsters weren't supposed to appear on magazine covers or speak confidently. That assumption protected her for years. People often imagine financial scams as messy operations by suspicious individuals. But large-scale fraud usually works differently. The people behind it often look credible because credibility is part of the product. And Ruja sold credibility exceptionally well. Inside the organization, doubt became socially difficult. If your friends invested, questioning OneCoin meant questioning them too. If your family members joined, backing out felt like betraying those who trusted you. Some investors recruited relatives. Others encouraged entire communities. By the time concerns appeared publicly, many were emotionally and financially trapped. Then the system began to crack. Withdrawals became difficult. Internal exchanges went offline for maintenance. Regulators issued warnings. Journalists compared claims against blockchain evidence. The deeper authorities looked, the worse things appeared. Eventually, arrests happened around the people closest to the company. As pressure built around Ruja, she disappeared. No verified public sightings. No confirmed communications. Just theories. Some reports suggested she may have traveled through Greece and eventually reached Dubai. Others speculated she obtained protection through organized criminal networks. There are even theories claiming she may no longer be alive. Years later, nobody can say for certain. What remains undeniable is the scale of the damage left behind. Families, lost savings. Some people borrowed heavily to invest. Others spent years trying to recover financially from decisions they made during the height of the frenzy. And yet, the uncomfortable part of this story isn't simply that millions of people were deceived. It's how understandable their decisions can start to feel when you place yourself inside the emotional atmosphere of that moment. Fear of missing out is powerful, especially during periods when the world seems to be changing faster than people can process it. You see others getting rich. You hear constant success stories. Everyone around. You sound certain. And eventually, skepticism starts to feel less emotionally rewarding than hope. That dynamic didn't begin with cryptocurrency. And it certainly didn't end with OneCoin. The technology changes. The vocabulary changes. Sometimes it's crypto. Sometimes it's sometimes it's real estate, stocks, or the next exclusive opportunity spreading online. But the emotional structure underneath stays remarkably consistent. People want to believe they haven't missed their chance. And the most effective, scammers understand that better than anyone. That's why the story of Ruja Ignatova still matters. Years later, not because she convinced millions of people to trust a fake cryptocurrency, but because she exposed how easily intelligence can be overridden by timing, social pressure, ambition, and hope. Maybe the disturbing part isn't that so many people believed her. Maybe it's realizing that under the right circumstances, a lot of us probably would have too.